The Dow Jones Industrial Average early Tuesday hit an all-time high shortly after the opening bell, but struggled to extend gains further into record territory as investors focused on a wave of key corporate earnings. What are stock indexes doing? The Dow DJIA, 0.18%, recently traded up 20 points, or less than 0.1%, higher at 22,977, not far from a psychologically important level of 23,000. See Dow Industrials dalliance with 23,000 is a sign of the stock market's velocity. The SP 500 index SPX, 0.02%, traded down 2 points, or 0.1%, at 2,555, with 9 of the 11 main indexes trading lower. Healthcare shares were among the best performing sectors, rising 0.9%. The broad market SP 500 had scored an intraday record at 2,559.47. The Nasdaq Composite Index Comp, 0.05%, meanwhile, slipped 6 points, or 0.1%, to 6,618. What's driving the market's? Bank earnings and results from some of the biggest healthcare companies were key drivers in early trading on Tuesday. As third-quarter earnings season kicks into higher gear, investors will be focused on those results to gauge whether valuation for stock benchmarks, repeatedly registering all-time highs in 2017, is supported. Meanwhile, the dollar got a boost from media reports out late Monday indicating that Stanford University's John Taylor, the economist behind the famous Taylor Rule, made a favorable impression on President Donald Trump last week. Taylor is considered one of the more hawkish candidates in the running to become the next Federal Reserve Chairman, and his Taylor Rule implies that interest rates should be a lot higher than they are now. Read: Is the Fed chair race more wide open than portrayed? What do strategists say as the main index is trading at or near all-time highs? Karen Kavanaugh, senior market strategist at Voya Financial, said the uptrend in equities is underpinned by global growth. There is still no euphoria among investors as bond flow are strong, while there is still enough skepticism about stock gains. Instead, the market is climbing thanks to global growth that's been driving earnings, Kavanaugh said. As long as we continue to see European and emerging market economies grow, there is no reason for corporate earnings not to rise as well and support the market, Kavanaugh said. Which economic data are due? The cost of imported goods jumped 0.7% in September, and the biggest gain in more than a year, led by fuel prices and industrial supplies. Excluding fuel, import prices rose a smaller 0.3%. Industrial production in the U.S. rebounded in September after 2 straight declines, rising 0.3% in September, in line with expectations. Capacity utilization rose to 76% from 75.8%, but remained below summer levels. Sentiment among home builders spiked in October, after faltering over the summer. Check out MarketWatch's economic calendar. Which stocks are in focus? Johnson & Johnson J&J, 2.31%, rose 2.2%, and United Health Group Incorporated UN, 5.10%, jumped 5.4% after both beat earnings forecasts. Morgan Stanley MS, 1.36%, shares rallied 2.2% after the Wall Street Bank reported earnings that easily beat forecasts as its wealth management business continued to make reliable profits. Goldman Sachs Group Incorporated GS, 1.27%, also beat forecasts, but shares were slightly lower. See third-quarter earnings seen as an easy beat may bring more market records. Shares of Netflix Incorporated NFLX, 1.26%, fell 1% even as the streaming service late Monday reported stronger than forecast subscriber growth and revenue for the third quarter. First Take: Netflix plans huge movie push as it faces post-Disney reality. Also read: Netflix aims for all-time high as analysts see high double-digit upside for shares after earnings. Boeing Company BA, 0.37%, shares were down 0.4% after rival aircraft maker Airbus Air, 4.49%, took a 50.01% stake in Bombardier Incorporated's Series jets. And after the market closes, International Business Machines Corporation IBM, 0.12%, is slated to report. What are other assets doing? Asian stocks closed mostly higher, but with Chinese stocks SHCOMP, 0.19%, ending lower ahead of the Communist Party's Congress later in the week. In Europe, indexes were mixed. The ICE dollar index DXY, 0.40%, was up 0.3% at 93.545 in Tuesday's trade, while the yield of the 10-year Treasury note TMUBMUSD 10Y, 0.23%, was at 2.30%. Read 5 reasons why investors need to watch. China's National Party Congress metals slumped, with gold GCZ7, 1.27%, 0.9% lower. Crude oil CLX7, 0.66%, rose 0.4% after Iraqi forces took control of oil-rich fields in Kirkuk.